Hi, I'm Vivian the Knitter.
And I'm Allison the Crocheter, and this is the Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 128 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn, a knitting and crocheting podcast brought to you by me, Vivian, and my daughter, Allison. I'm recording from my home here in Michigan.
And I'm recording from Scotland. You might know me as a publisher of Moorit, the independent magazine for crocheters, and my mom is the amazing maker behind Pearl and Plum, where she makes and sells project bags for knitters and crocheters. Thanks so much for joining us, whether you're listening on a podcast app or watching along on YouTube. Hey everyone, happy November.
Hi everybody. Yay, it's November. One of my favorite months.
It's my birthday month.
Yeah, your birthday month.
Yeah, my birthday month.
So, how you doing? Are you planning anything for your birthday?
Just going out for dinner. Nothing else, really.
Hey, that's better than nothing.
Yeah, well then a few days after my birthday, we're doing a week early Thanksgiving dinner with some friends.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, because I'm going to...
So you can have like a Thanksgiving and birthday celebration at the same time.
Yeah, could do. I'm going to be in Spain for actual Thanksgiving Day, so that's why we're doing it a week early. Because normally we would do it like the Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving, because obviously nobody gets the Thursday off, so it doesn't really make sense to do it on Thursday.
Because, yep. Well, I don't know if people can notice that I'm in my new space.
Ooh.
I'm still filling in the shelves over there. There's one whole bookshelf is completely empty right now, and there's still a step ladder back there because we're still doing stuff. But I have started sewing again, even amongst this mess, like behind, like over there and over there is like there's tools and fabric, and just things all piled up.
Yeah,
and so it's good to.
I noticed the basement style ceiling above you. I don't know if people can see it, but from my view, I can see it.
Yeah, we had somebody come and spray paint all the ducts and the pipes and the floor joists up there. So instead of closing it up, so as a consequence, it does get a little noisy down here when somebody's walking upstairs. Mm-hmm. But nobody else is home. Number 2, I don't think the cats will make too much of a noise. And number 3, I turned off the heat, so it won't come on while we're recording. Because when it comes on, it goes whoosh and it goes blah, 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 and you can hear it because the vents are right there.
Yeah. I heard. Is Sushi downstairs with you yet or right now?
No. She's still kind of scared to come down here because this was like the forbidden zone. So whenever they came down here accidentally, we were like, no, go upstairs. You're not allowed down there. And then because it was dangerous, there was stuff everywhere, and it was also very dusty because there wasn't flooring down here, and it was just the raw concrete.
Yeah.
And I didn't want them to get hurt or get lost or trapped. And then of course when we hired people to come and do the floors for us, I'm sure they made a lot of noise. I wasn't home, I was in Florida, but they were making a lot of noise and they were talking, and that freaked them out. They were like hiding under my bed while the first day they were here. By the third day, I think they were kind of used to it.
Yeah.
But still, they're like, that's the place where all that weird noise comes from. And so she's come down a few times. Like the first time I brought her down, I put her on the floor, and she did like that commando crawl. Like, oh my God, I'm so scared. So she hasn't really come down voluntarily more than once or twice. Willet will come down, and he's still kind of like not super scared, but he's
wary.
Like sniffing very cautiously. Yeah, and then if I drop something, he'll jump and then run back upstairs. Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying the space so far. I've only moved down here. I mean, I've only just started setting everything up last weekend, so it's just been just over a week since I put my IKEA bookcases together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, that's my update.
Well, I had asked about the cats because just before we started recording, I heard you go, "It's okay, Mommy's down here, Sushi." I'm like, oh, you're talking to the cats. Something like that.
Yeah, because she was upstairs crying when she can't find me, or if she can't find a person upstairs,
Yeah.
she just like roams around the house crying. It's pretty pathetic. And the reason why I know this is because, you know, when I leave and if Madeline's home, she'll text me, so she's crying, like, oh, poor baby. Or sometimes, like, well, one time, I left the house still in the garage, but accidentally turned on the treat dispensing camera thingy and the Furbo, and I was like, there's a cat meowing out here. I'm like, it sounds kind of like Sushi, and then I realized it was coming from my pocket, and she was in there in the house crying, and I can hear it come out. It was really weird. So that's how I know that, you know, I've only been out here for like what 15 seconds and she's already crying. And I wasn't even leaving. I was just doing stuff outside.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know the difference.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, whoops.
Yep. Whoops. Why don't you go ahead? Do you have more than one this time?
No.
No? Just your Moorit Mal project?
My Moorit Mal, which is still running until the end of the year. So I'm doing the Kishie vest from issue 1. And that one's the one by Eline, who is Eline behind Emmy and Lane? I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so it's a basket weave vest. I think last time was I done with the back? Or no?
No, you weren't.
Okay, so I finished the back. And so, yeah, you could definitely see where it sort of pinches in where the rib starts on the side seam. But I'm hoping that can block out.
You can block that out, yeah.
And I don't think I'm trying to think if I've done a rib. I don't think I've done a rib like this style of crochet rib. It's still done sideways, specifically. But so there's the rib. Looks good. I adjusted it a little bit because I noticed on the sample, it's not overly noticeable, but I think it's still a little bit noticeable in here because you're trying to like ram in these shaped ribbing into the sides of the rows of the basket weave. There's like a little pucker at the top edge of the triangle. So I removed a repeat on either end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was yeah. So basically, there's less rows. The rib is less rows. Otherwise, I there would have been like 8 extra rows shoved in here, and then I figured the pucker would be more distinct. And I think
do you think it's because your gauge is slightly different?
My
from
gauge
the
is probably a little bit different, yeah. But yeah, no, that worked out fine, and it also meant because you're also increasing and decreasing to shape it that triangle shape. So I've got like 1 less increase and 1 less decrease. So technically, the length of the rib is like 1 stitch shorter, which doesn't really gonna make that much of a difference. So I'd finished the back, and I finished one side of the front. So that's just the shoulder to armhole.
The armpit.
Armpit, yeah.
Almost.
And then I'm working on.
Is that as soft as it looks?
It's very soft.
It looks really soft.
Because this is a combination of Jameson and Smith, just lace weight, and then the Rowan Cashmere Haze, which has got a bit of cashmere in it.
So nice.
Very soft. Yeah, so I've got 1/2 done of the neckline, and then I'm almost done with the second half. So you have to do them in 2 different pieces until they meet in the middle, essentially. And then you can attach and then keep going. I was working on it a little bit on somewhere. I don't know if it was on a plane or while people were here, and I had to stop because I had made adjustments on the back half to make it shorter because I'm short. I had to. It was too much thinking. I couldn't just follow the pattern. Do the front bit because basically, I think the actual pattern the decreases for the neck hole, for the decreases for the neck, and then the decreases for the arm are done at different rates, or the increases, sorry. But then because I made it shorter, it meant that I still needed more neckline to get it to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's all calculated out, and I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So, yeah. I feel like I haven't made that much progress in the last like couple weeks since I got back from Florida, but it's still. I think I might still finish it.
Oh, good.
And then the other thing, sorry, I do have. It's not really whip or FO, but I've talked about my finished.
Oh yeah.
Have I talked about finishing
your sage?
My sage shrug.
You thought you finished last time we spoke. You thought you finished it, but then you realized that you didn't have the right amount of. Yeah.
Yeah, it is now symmetrical. I won't show it out because I'll share it on FOs when I actually finish it, because I was venting at the Scottish Festival of Yarn in Perth, and I bought some buttons from my neighbor. So this is from Ethel and Joan, and
are they glass?
They are resin, but it's the owner, Louise. She has made her own molds of her. I think it's her grandmother's buttons, like buttons that she had in her like sewing box sort of thing. So this is just sort of a very plain standard button, but there was some like other like shaped buttons. And then she uses it out of resin, and this particular one, so it's clear resin, and then there's sort of almost like a shimmery holographic bits of plastic on the inside that are sort of pinky purpley, which match the sort of pink blue of my
that
shrug.
looked really good.
She said that those little bits, are part of a bag. I presume like a plastic bag, like sort of thing, or something. So it's limited edition because she only has so much of the bag before it's gone. But yeah, so
I bet one bag would make lots of buttons because you only need like a teeny tiny.
She said they were very popular though, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll get it now. And she's fairly minimal on waste because obviously she's just using like different bits, and any offcuts she can sort of reuse, or any bits of resin she can reuse and stuff. So
very cool.
Yeah, so those are my buttons that I'm planning on putting on that. And then it will be an FO, and all I have to do is sew them on. So next month, I can talk about my FO. I'll show you the buttons, and I'll model it actually on.
I forgot. We had to thank you. Should I put it in here or?
Sure.
Okay. So actually, this I've forgotten twice because this was a thank you for our October episode. Crystal, who is Watercolor 31 on Ravelry, said that she's a crocheter from Idaho, and she's currently working on a blanket and she has purse washcloths
instead of purse socks.
And she was only around episode 54 when she had wrote that in October or September, whenever it was. So hopefully she'll catch up. And so hello, Crystal.
Yeah. Hello from when you catch up.
Yeah.
Not from the future, from the past.
From our past, her future. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. But while you were talking, I realized I left one of my FOs upstairs. Not FOs, whips upstairs. So I'm going to cut this part out. Okay. So my first whip is number 8 in my mitten garland thingy.
Nice.
And I used like a light blue, grayish blue, and white and red. And these little birds, there's little colorwork birds on them. They look like dinosaurs. I don't know why. I think they look more like dinosaurs than birds.
I saw them as birds.
Okay.
I think you're okay.
Well, maybe it's because I was working on them upside down. So as I'm going from here and here, I was like, I feel like they're gonna look like dinosaurs. But anyway, this is the.
Well, no, I was gonna say with the whole evolution of birds and dinosaurs. So, maybe it makes sense.
This is the Mitten Advent garland by Kathy Lewinski, and I'm just using. I was originally just going to use all my Jamiesons and Smith, but all that leftover bit, I have a lot of browns and like really earthy colors. It's not going, and I'm like running out of like the more Christmassy color, so I threw in some nitpicks in here as well.
I see. Yeah.
So that's that. And then my Moorit Mal project is stuck. Oh, here it is.
I really like those colors.
The front and the sides are, or the front and back are put together.
Nice.
Except, well, the measurements are right. And then I was like, okay, I should have made a bigger size because they're still, like, I guess I like a roomier, like, I like more positive ease than it fits. It's just, I don't feel very pretty in it. I just feel a little stuffed in there.
Yeah.
But the sleeve bit, you're supposed to measure, for my size, 8 inches from the shoulder down to down here before you like start sewing it together. But in the picture, the sleeves is only in the meshy part, and the sleeve is actually just mesh. Would it look weird if I had the mesh down here?
I don't think so.
I did make it a little lower than the 8 inches. I think mine is closer to 9 inches because I like a little bit more room. So I blocked it, and it was I wasn't able to work on it for a few days. But anyway, so this is the Zanni from issue 4, and it's a tee, and it's got shells on the body part, and then up here above in the yoke area is like a mesh. The pattern doesn't give you a gauge for the mesh part, just for the shells. So I was wondering if my mesh gauge is smaller than my shell gauge, and that's why, I don't know.
Well, I guess, is there a measurement from like the full body measurement?
Yeah, the full body, I do. It's pretty spot on. So I guess it's not. It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
It's just the smaller sizes have the armholes.
Yeah, I guess it's it might be partly because with the bigger bust sizes. Otherwise, if you made it so that it was mesh matching up to the sleeve, the shells might just run lower down the boob, and then that would look maybe, instead of having it like, because it's supposed to be that the shells sort of cover the bust, and then the mesh is low. So does that make sense? So like, you don't want the because you wouldn't be able to fit if you're a bigger size, you wouldn't be able to fit your arm into just the mesh part. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Even if but you also wouldn't want the mesh to go lower, because then half your bust would be in the mesh
exposed. So I haven't actually taken a look at how to do the crochet mesh to shells. Mesh to mesh, I think is going to be straightforward, but mesh to shells, I haven't looked that far ahead.
I don't know if there's instructions. I mean, I feel like that's sometimes the beauty with crochet. It's like when you're crocheting into the sides of things, it's just like, you just stick it in wherever, like, just
whatever you can.
Basically, because you can.
The colors look good though.
I really like the colors. I got a teal and a light blue. Or is it a light green?
It's definitely a light green.
Light green,
almost like a seafoam green.
Nice, yeah.
Can you hear the cat?
No, I can't.
She's crying upstairs. Okay. Anyway, I had a hard time like figuring out which way is the front and which way is the back. I think I did it right.
You probably wouldn't really be able to tell.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like I don't think it makes a huge difference until you start sewing it together.
Oh.
Because then you have your seam on one side. No, I mean like once you've sewn it together, depending on how you've seamed it together, you want the seam, the messy bit of the seam to be on the inside, if there is a messy bit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but even if you did, it's the messy. Yeah, because I have like the strand from colors I carried, so of course I seamed it inside.
Yeah. So now that's the right side and the wrong side. Before you seam it, I don't think it really
It
matters.
doesn't really matter that much because it definitely looks slightly different. The back.
It would
because
it would look the same if you only had one color of shell, but because you're changing the color of the shells with each row, you know, your dark
no,
shells.
you're not.
Are you not?
You're always doing the shells one way. Because in between the shells, there's the chain loops, and then
okay. So then in that case, yeah. So the shells have a right side and a wrong side essentially, but
yeah,
whichever. I mean, you
can
can sort of
twist
either you can't tell, or I mean, I think I would be able to tell because I can tell the right side and wrong side of a regular like treble or double treble. But they both look
it's hard
fine.
for me to tell.
I would say the wrong side doesn't necessarily look
well. They're
bad.
kind of reversible. It's just that it's got like a definite like little ledge or whatever on one side versus I don't know which side that is. I don't know. But I haven't. I mean, the only crochet garment I've ever made were granny square ponchos.
Yeah. I remember
if
that.
you can count that as a garment, that would just be an accessory, right? I made you one. I made Madeline one when she was really little.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, the pink one. Yeah. So, but prior to that, it was just Afghans and scarves and occasional hat. You know, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, it's good. And
so
I mean,
those are my only 2 whips.
If you get a few wears out of it and then decide you don't want to wear it anymore, I'll take it.
I've already said that it will be one of your samples. I might just wear it once or twice, and then you can use it as one of your samples for when you do shows. But then people will be like, "Oh yeah, but your sample maker made lots of mistakes here."
No.
Probably, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, then I'll be like, "See, a beginner crocheter can work it out."
I don't think I'm quite a beginner. I'm more like a
intermediate. No.
Yeah. Beginner, intermediate. Yeah.
Well, then I can say like, you know, once you feel like you've, you know, I mean that's what I tell like people. Lots of people ask me like, oh, is your books for beginners or like you have to be more advanced? And certainly there are things that would be very difficult for a beginner, or you need more intermediate skills. But there's plenty of stuff that either a beginner could maybe not like I wouldn't start off with anything from the book, but I always say if you're an adventurous beginner, you feel like, you know, you're starting to get to a point where you want to try new things. That's where you can definitely find some things in the book that will work for you.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, even like when I did that Tunisian cowl thing when you were doing that crochet along, like I think that was like our first year.
Yeah, with the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I really wasn't very good at it, but you can definitely tell my progression. How like in the beginning, I definitely wasn't very good, and by the end, I was being more consistent, and it looked better. But I wasn't going to tear it all out and start over again because it took me too long to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool though to see like your progress even within a single project, like, and not a big project either.
Yeah. But it felt like a big project because it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. Yeah. Well, the only reason because because it kind of mimics knitting, so I'm thinking like, oh, I could knit this so much faster.
I can't remember what you did because
it was I don't remember. It was
like knit stitch, like Tunisian knit stitch and simple stitch. But simple stitch doesn't really have I don't know how you would mimic that in knitting.
It was like it looked kind of like a basket weave.
Yeah, the actual pattern did, but okay.
I'm sure we can look it up in my Ravelry. It's in there somewhere, buried all the way at the bottom. Okay, you ready for our BuzzFeed quiz? Okay, I picked this one, and it's, which Bent sister from Pride and Prejudice are you? Pick some fall favorites and find out. Who'd you get?
Jane.
Oh.
Did you also get Jane?
I got Jane too.
So, do you want to read it?
Sure. It says, You're a gentle nurturer who hates being an inconvenience to anyone. You tend to be on the quiet side and keep most of your thoughts to yourself, making you a great listener. Just remember that people would love to hear how you feel. I do have a bit of Jane in me.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a bit of Jane in me.
Yeah. I think you do too.
Yeah. I do think... I don't think... I'm only... I'm definitely quieter with people I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
With people I do know, I don't think they would describe me as being quiet.
Yeah, it's the same here. But especially like in the larger... even like in a very large setting of people I do know, sometimes I tend to like listen more than I talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Depends on how big the group is.
Yeah.
But obviously, in a small group, I'm very loudmouthed.
Is that obvious?
I just feel more confident. Okay, well, Pride and Prejudice is, definitely one of my favorite Jane Austen books. Nope.
Watched it. Maybe I watched it in Florida with Emily.
Which one?
The most recent one. The one that the GIF is from.
Oh, Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley, yeah.
Is that the most recent one? Did they not do another one? Like on TV? Maybe it was on TV. Maybe it's like a BBC thing or a PBS thing.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Did they ever do that into a movie?
Yeah, that was a movie, actually.
That might have been more recent.
What fall drink did you pick?
I'm
pretty sure we picked the same thing.
Oh, I don't know. I went for pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, you did? I forgot about
cider?
that. Yeah, I know I pick apple cider, yeah.
Yeah. I think I ever have pumpkin spice latte. Like, I can't remember when the last time I had it was, but yeah. It just makes me think of, fall.
I'll have to bring you some. Well, I had bought some apple cider from the grocery store, and it said it's from like an orchard. And Madeline's like, this is not good apple cider. This is not good. And it's still there. I bought like weeks ago. Pick a fall activity.
I went for pumpkin picking.
Oh, I went with read by the fire.
Yeah, fair.
That's definitely something that pumpkin picking, as when you guys were small children, we did that a lot. Well, every year anyway.
I think I wasn't necessarily thinking of like pumpkin picking in general. It just made me think of the whole like pumpkin picking, apple picking, and corn mazes, and
yeah.
What about your fall song?
Fall song? Oh,
I'm gonna guess you went with Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, other than Fast Car and Taylor Swift, the Cardigan, I didn't know any of the other ones. Like the other three, I didn't know. So I just like, well, Fast Car doesn't really feel very.
I'm gonna make you
it's an old from the like the 90s, like the early 90s.
Well, so the other ones were Creep by Radiohead, which I do know. I don't know We Fell in Love in October by Girl in Red, but I picked Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer.
I have no idea who they are and what that is.
You might recognize it if you heard it.
Like the song? Mm-hmm. We haven't really picked a whole lot of things the same.
Well, I skipped one, and that was a fall movie and TV show. We might have picked I picked Gilmore Girls for that.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. So that's one that's the same. Okay, fall snack.
There's a toss-up between snickerdoodles and apple cinnamon muffins.
Same. And did you go for apple cinnamon muffins?
Yes, I did.
Same. So basically, It was a toss-up between the baked goods. Well, I guess soft pretzels are also baked. The sweet, desserty ones. Because, soft pretzels, pumpkin seeds, or no snack for me, thanks. Never in my life.
Speaking of snacks, I think it's time for me to have a snack. Or a second breakfast. I'm not sure which.
Well, we still have the rest of this episode to get through.
Yep.
Well, I do not have any FOs.
Did you look at the show notes?
I mean, I'm looking at it now, and according to this, you have 4 FOs. Is that right?
Is that right? I have a bunch.
Okay.
So
Well,
my biggest FO is the, oh no, you're stuck. I need to move that hook. My
ooh,
Velvety Air Wrap.
nice. Is it blocked and everything?
No, it's not blocked.
No.
I didn't have time. I mean, I didn't really have the space to
Mm.
block it right now because this is a mess down here, and then the spare room upstairs is kind of a mess because all the stuff that was in here, other than the furniture, was stuffed in the spare room,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and so it's anyway. So, but it looks really good on the camera.
Does
It
it
looks
not look
better
good in
on
person?
camera. I mean, it looks good in person, but I think it would look even better when it's blocked.
Yeah, right.
So there's three different purples.
Dark purple.
There's like a light lilac, a medium, and a dark. So there's 4 different purples.
Uh-huh.
So the last time I spoke, I think I was on the 5th color, not the 4th color, because there's 6 different colors. So it goes from. Oh, by the way, this is the Velvety Wrap by Sweater Freak,
Velvety
and I'm
Air
using
Wrap.
Velvety Air Wrap. I'm using Miss Babs.
Yummy 2-ply and 2-ply gradient, according to the show notes.
Yeah, I mean it's not quite gradient, but it's kind of. I mean it's like a green purple gradient, I guess. So it starts out with a teal, and then it goes to a gray, and then a spring green or a lime green, and then it starts the purples. And in between the colors is navy blue plus whatever contrast color I'm working on, done in a mosaic arrow or a triangle motif.
Is it flying geese? Is that the quilting pattern? Sort of?
Yeah, it looks kind of like flying geese a little bit.
Side.
Yeah.
I feel like the gray is sort of the odd one out.
Yeah.
Like aqua gray, spring green doesn't really like the gray just feels like it's Anyway.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
But I mean it looks good all together.
Yeah,
My arms aren't quite long enough to hold the whole thing out. But yeah. So super happy with this. Kind of clashes with the sweater I'm wearing right now. And I started 2 hats while my Zanni was blocking, and I did the July hat as one of the calendar of hats by Courtney.
How many have you done now?
That's not this one. What?
How many of the months have you done?
I haven't counted. I don't know. I haven't done on 12. So this is it. It goes with my. So this is it's going to be a charity hat. It's just knits and pearls. It creates like triangles on the. So it only took me a couple days, but it's this was the sale yarn that I got last year or the year before.
I mean,
So
I know
that's
you were
pretty
like,
cute.
it's only knits and pearls. It's basic. I go charity shop, but I really like it. I like that subtle texture that just the stitch changes, or the subtle pattern texture that the stitch change creates.
Yeah. Yeah, not any like all the kooky colors that I like to use.
Because I'm basic.
This one is called In Transit by Allison O'Mahony. And my sister gave me the yarn. Well, she didn't give me the yarn. She passed the yarn to me so I can make her a hat. And she's been holding on to this yarn for about 5 years now.
She supplied a yarn for a hat commission.
Yes, basically, yes. When her younger daughter turned 10, who just turned 15 yesterday, they had a birthday party at a llama farm, and they were selling their own hand spun yarn. So this is like the color of llama. Yes, this is the color of one llama, and then this white is the color of another llama.
It's like a dark brown.
Yeah.
And then a
dark brown at the brim, and then I did like a color work in the middle, and then the light color on top. I might make a pom pom, but I think I might have enough for another hat. I wasn't sure because it felt so light
Is it really
I'm not
soft?
even sure.
It's
It
got
is
a
super,
lovely
super
halo.
soft. It does. Super, super soft. And I mean, I would have enough for another one of these hats. I don't think I would have enough if I wanted to do like just one color and a little bit of color work of the other color.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Nope.
Anyway, I might just make the opposite.
Yeah. So like
And
white at the bottom.
mm-hmm. So that is number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then my final FO is my Twylla mismatched socks by Rachel Coopey.
Were these accidentally mismatched? Well,
Yeah, they
accidentally
were.
and then accidentally on purpose.
Yeah, accidentally on purpose mismatched.
Yeah.
So I started out with this green sock first,
Mm-hmm.
finished it, and then I was at the doctor's office when I started was working on the cuff. And for whatever reason, I thought the stripe
The top
in the middle of the cuff was green. No, it was purple, not green.
Right.
And then I got back home and I was like, oh crap. Because I left the first sock at home. It's actually supposed to be a green stripe. So instead of, because I hate doing ribbing, that's not my favorite thing to do. And also and so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to carry on and do the same patterns, the colorwork patterns, but just with a different combination of the yarn color. And that's what I did. But also I was out and about when I did the top of the foot here, where it's just knits and pearls. It's not color work, and I did that wrong too.
Is it a textured stitch?
Yes,
so
but it's slightly different.
Is like waves down the
and
then the other is
green
sort of
one
like a
is
swoop. It's like a curved line.
Because I think I was on the airplane. I was on the airplane when I did the pink one, and it was too inconvenient to take out the pattern. So I just carried on, and I'm like, I think this is the pattern, and I just kept going. And then once I got to my destination, I was like looking at this. I was like, oh, it's actually different.
I mean, it's not a major part of the design, like because it's just texture. No. You don't really see it, but that's quite funny. It looks good though. I mean, it's a lot of different sections of different like design and color work and
yeah. So I mean, I had fun doing it, and it's so I mean, it definitely went faster than a pair of my purse socks because I actually worked on it at home too, not just when I was out and about.
Yeah,
like
I'm imagining those as like Christmas socks, but like one's red and one's green. But I guess is that from the book?
Yeah, it's from the
Soxia
book.
And because are pretty much all those socks like a lot of color work? Or some of them more textured?
I will say half. Some of them they're just textured.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking now actually, yeah. Is that so maybe that one the most that one looks like it might be the most color worky? Maybe,
because like the one I did prior is like the
Coraline?
The cover, Coraline, that one has a lot of it's color work and then has stripes on the foot, I think.
Yeah, I think this one has the most different like patterns and different sections.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm thinking about it as Christmassy, because it's making me think of stockings, like all the different sections of Bear Isle.
So I mean, one of my goals is to finish to knit all the socks in that book that I got in 2018.
Well, I'm looking at the patterns, right? And Hortensia.
Which one is that one? Is that the blue one?
It's blue and pink, but they've done it in two different. They are like little mismatched socks because they are purposely different.
Oh,
it's a different lace pattern on each, and then they've done the same as you, like swapped the main color and coordinate color.
Let me see. Can't remember what that.
So like,
can't remember what that one looks like.
It's got pink toe, pink cuff, blue sock, and the other one is the opposite. But then even the sock body is a different lace pattern for the right and left sock.
Oh yeah. No, No, I remember. I like the yellow one, the yellow version that somebody had made.
Yellow and gray, yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
kind of
yep,
cool.
that's 4 FOs. Well done. 2 of which
Yeah.
had
Okay.
previously completely unmentioned.
Yeah, well, because 2 of them weren't started until after we recorded our October. I mean, they're hats. They're gonna go fast. So let's see. I might start the second one of the llama hat. I might do the opposite color, and then this will go to Charity, and that's all I have.
Nice. All you have.
So I want to remind everybody that our Moorit Mal ends on December 31st, so you have plenty of time. Even if you haven't started yet, you can start something. Anything from any of the Moorit magazines. So you have 5 issues
to choose from. Yep.
To choose from. Yeah, even a crocheter that sometimes a knitter that sometimes crochets managed to almost finish one. So hope by next episode for sure I will have this finished, and then I might have started a second one. I'll see.
Speaking of starting a second one, can I jump into Yarny Bits and Bobs?
Yes.
Because I bought some yarn to make this, which I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get around to it for the Mal, but this is
that's so beautiful.
La Resilience by Jessica. Don't know how to pronounce her last name. Nocher, don't know. But it is a cowl, and that's in issue 5. And it's a sort of, people have described it as crochet brioche, but you can see it uses front and back post stitches to create a pattern, and it's got like sort of botanical or like wheat like motif with like a little bobble
at the top
edgings
and the bottom.
The bottom. Anyway,
is it stretchy at all?
Not super stretchy.
Not super stretchy.
Yeah, so it's like quite close.
So very like so it's very opposite of like knitted brioche, because knitted brioche is super stretchy.
So the reason is, so when you look at the back, you can see it just looks striped.
Because you're carrying the color.
Yeah, you do a chain to sort of carry the color through like over the places where you don't want stitches. Kind of hard to explain. So those chains aren't very stretchy, which is why you don't get a super stretchy fabric. But it's got the label on it from being at the show. So anyway, I knew I wanted to make this just because it's. Oh, I think I'm wearing it upside down. Because it's so pretty. So when I was at the Scottish Festival of Yarn, I had a look and I bought some yarn. So this is from Allcocer Yarn, who is a dyer here in the Edinburgh area, and she always has like really like luxurious yarn bases. So this one is 50% blue face luster, 50% alpaca, so it's very soft.
Nice.
And I went for one undyed one, which is a sort of mid-gray, beigey gray, and then a sort of aubergine color, eggplanty, dark purple.
It reminds me of the 373 cardigan.
Yeah, it's
the colors.
Yeah.
Same colors.
Took a while to decide what colors I wanted, and of course I grabbed like one of each color, and I was like looking in the light, like this one. Anyways, so I've gone for this, and it's very nice.
What was it? Oh yeah, I went to the Fiber Expo, the Ann Arbor Fiber Expo, and it's not a huge fiber or yarn show, but it's not small either, and so I've been there in previous years. So most of the vendors were the same. Yeah. But I got to touch and feel yarn, but I actually resisted. I didn't buy any yarn because I just didn't buy any yarn because I just have so much yarn. But I did buy some doodads, here and there, and I had a really nice chat with what is her, Deirdre something,
Dar.
Deirdre Dar of Keenan Hand Dyed Yarn, and I think she's based in Wisconsin or Minnesota, somewhere in in the vicinity, and she had some really nice samples. She only had one crochet sample, but she did yarn support for. There is a Harry Potter, no, not Harry Potter, Halloween, Nightmare Before Halloween. That
Neighbor
book.
Before Christmas?
Nightmare Before Christmas, yes. Nightmare Before Christmas that Tannis Gray just put out. I'm like all confused.
Harry Potter.
Recently. Well, she did a second Harry Potter book.
I see.
And so she provided the yarn for, I think it's the
Sally's dress wrap.
the Sally, was it a shawl?
It's called
wrap?
Sally's dress wrap, but I think it's based off of a dress, but it's a shawl. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of cute designs in there if you're really into the whole the Nightmare Before Christmas. And so she's got really nice saturated colors and stuff like that. So hey, Deirdre, I said I might mention her, so here you are, mentioned in the podcast.
Nice.
So that was my little Yarny Bits and Bobs, and it's a really nice yarn festival, and it's not too far from here. So I'm gonna try next time, maybe next year, I'll try to venture out to some further out yarn festivals in the area.
Nice.
Just haven't done it yet.
Fun.
I know you have a bit of news.
Well, yeah. Speaking of yarn festivals, the big news being that I am part of a group of people who are trying to bring a yarn festival back to Edinburgh. Okay, so it's called it's called the Willy Good Gathering. You can find us as Willy Good Edinburgh on Instagram. It's still contingent on a Kickstarter, which is to be launched. So definitely follow the Instagram account so that you can find out when the Kickstarter officially launches. But so it's a group. It's me behind Moorit, Susan, who is behind the Journal of Scottish Yarns, Susan, Journal of Scottish Yarns, Solveig, Iolair Yarns, Melinda and Gergely Zakami Yarns, who are a yarn dyer based here in Edinburgh as well, and then Allison, who is Nitrospective, and she is a designer and academic. So between the six of us, we're all building this festival, and we do want it to be different than a certain different other yarn show that was in Edinburgh, because obviously we're just new, but we do not have the capacity to run a show anything like EYF essentially. But so it's going to be smaller, more like, obviously we'll have the marketplace, but focusing around community and collaboration as well. So we'll have a really big community room where we've invited organizations to come and do demonstrations and be able to spread the word about the organizations. And then that will be the room where there's like socialization and food and drinks and music, a bit of music, and yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot that I could say. A lot is on the website now, woollygood.co.uk as well, if you want to read a bit more. But yeah,
it's so exciting. I've been like sitting on my hands, like so excited about this for so long, and it's that finally out in public that you can talk about it. It's
I know, and I just like I think it's the same with Moorit, like, because it's a Kickstarter. Once hopefully knock on wood, everything, fingers crossed. Once the Kickstarter is funded, that's, I think, when my brain can finally switch on to like, yes, this is actually happening. So I am excited, but I am a little like reserved about it at the same time. But I am excited because I do think this could be really amazing. The venue we've picked, it's Summer Hall, which is Not like, it is central Edinburgh essentially, but it's not like right smack in the middle necessarily of like what if you were to pick the very center of Edinburgh. It's like, anyway, it's a lovely venue. It's like a big multidisciplinary arts venue. It used to be the Royal College, Veterinary College. So it's an old building, but it's been repurposed. So it hosts lots of hosts like art exhibits and film screenings. I don't know if they do like theater.
We did a Kelley there.
There's lots of like rooms. Yes, I think they still do it. It was like the Tuesday Kelley. It doesn't run during the festival in August, but throughout the year they have Kelleys there. And then there's like lots of different businesses that just have space, creative businesses. I think there's like, software startup type things. There's an escape room in there. There's a brewery. There's a gin distillery. There's a knitwear designer that all have space there. So it's a cool place. And you go in, there's a really lovely cafe. There's a pub. So on top of obviously whatever we bring to Woolly Good, the Woolly Good gathering, just being in that space that has other things as well. It means it's got other things, other food and drink if you're not interested in whatever we have. And then because we're right there in the city, there's so many other things on the doorstep. You can just pop into Sainsbury's, grab a sandwich if that's what you want to do. So many options. So
very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Make sure to either check out the website or the Instagram to get the news and the updates and things. And cross your fingers for me.
Cross your whole body.
As if I didn't have enough on my plate. But I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to do with it other than the fact that I have volunteered to be a volunteer.
Yep.
When the time comes. Oh, tell everybody what the dates are.
Yes. What are the dates, Allison? So I already told you the venue, which is Summer Hall. The plan is that it will be in the end of April. So Friday, April 26th and Saturday, April 27th. With a marketplace from, the plan is like 12 to 6 on the Friday. So potentially people who can come after work can come as well. There'll be an evening event that's separate on that Friday night. And then Saturday, sort of standard 10 to 4-ish times on the Saturday.
Cool. Yay! I have noticed that on the Woolly Good Instagram, people have like volunteered. Oh, well, count me. I want to volunteer. Who do I talk to?
A few people, yeah. So,
yeah. So that's how excited people are.
Yeah, I'm thinking, the response has been really good so far, and so I am hoping that the Kickstarter will be successful. I think having had a big yarn festival in this city and then lost it has made a lot of people feel a little bereft. So to bring something back would be really cool.
Yeah. Yay.
Well, will we just end it on that big news?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So the show notes for this episode and every episode is on our website, kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. Our Instagram is also kcacypodcast. My personal Instagram is Allison here, and my mom's is upstate_Viv. You can like and subscribe and favorite and review and all the things on YouTube or wherever else you listen to podcasts. You can join the Ravelry group. Just search for Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast in the group tab. So thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry yarn. Bye!